Okay, we're back to Canyons and Cockbites. Finally. This is part 2. I need to upload part 1 still. It's fine. So, in the beginning of this session, or at least this the event, I guess, we had the introduction of, everyone. I'm good at talking. Long story short, a bird got on the ship. Everyone was like, what the fuck is with this bird? The bird has a name. It's Kuro. It's a very smart bird. A very, very smart bird. The bird caused problems and left. Now you guys are fully aware that the owner of said bird knows about the library that you were heading to do research, which is not great. Not great for y'all. So, those of you who heard about that were like, well, shit, we've got to get to that library before he does. And thusly, that's where we are now. If I recall correctly, specifically, Howard had been like, oh, I'm gonna get the ship ready. So Howard's off doing that. We're just gonna cut to y'all at the ship. Like, Riley is herding all of y'all to the ship. Like, we need to move. Like, Rin is staying behind to clean up the fucking infirmary. Because he's mad about the infirmary getting fucked up by the bird. But y'all are heading to a little planet called Alexandria 2, and that's where we're at. So Dr. DeLune has herded you onto a ship. Riley, Dr. DeLune, their name is Riley, you know this. Riley's like, okay, Alexandria 2! Stop. Okay. Can you tell I have anxiety? A lot of it. So, Howard's in the front, pretty much ready to go. Y'all have had, no time to grab anything. DeLune's just like, we need to hurry now. So the ship is on course. DeLune is up front with you, Howard, helping, basically inputting the coordinates, we need to get moving. They go ahead and give that to you. Howard gets moving. You're on course. Everything that led you to that point was just as chaotic as me being chaotic has made it seem, so now you have, a moment to breathe. So, Thaddeus, Marion, Howard, Penn, and DeLune, you're all on the ship heading to Alexandria 2, and you've got a bit of a short time until you get there. How do you kill that time, in specific?
Oh, that's a good question, considering we don't have Gerser or Jimmy John, who were the people that had a lot of conversations.
Can I roll to see how much is left in my flask?
You want to roll to see?
Yes, I want to roll to see, because if it's low, I can cause many problems.
Yes, yes.
Oh no!
So many problems!
We need Penn to cause problems because we're missing 2 troublemakers.
Percentile die. Oh no!
Yeah, you've got about 17% of beverage left, even.
17% of beverage. They just kind of stare it down, and there's 17% of beverage, and they just quietly go, "Oh no."
Oh. I imagine since Howard was the one who already programmed everything, he's kind of just winding down from starting everything and just leaning against a wall somewhere, just quiet and kind of I don't know, watching Penn look down try to drink, but there's nothing left, and he's like, oh, this is gonna be a problem.
Marion's probably just anxiously at Thaddeus's side and is just eventually she talks to stop the silence and it's just so Thaddeus, sir, if you don't mind me asking,
Yes.
how much combat experience do you have?
Let's see. Define combat.
Any
No.
type of situation where you'd either have to defend yourself, maybe attacked by a wild animal even, things like that.
Does a cat fight in a club party count?
Uh,
And to be fair, I did not instigate that shit. She did. Cunt.
I don't. I'm not. I'll say that it counts. Yeah.
Bitch shouldn't have touched my trim.
The trim.
Well, the joke was on her. I took her wig.
Oh, we are so screwed.
Lune is also back there with y'all, kind of probably leaning against the wall in the same way that Howard was, but they're fiddling with they're nervously twitching their robotic hand a bit, like flexing it, like, okay, so that makes and then they look at Howard, and that is like, okay, two people with little combat experience in this team, but we've got a freelancer and a bodyguard and me, so we should be fine. I mean, it's one guy. One guy out to destroy one of the most valuable resources of information in the galaxy, but it's fine. We can stop him.
You don't know if it's just one guy.
Well, hopefully we can just get out of this without needing to fight anyone.
Well, I'm naturally
I
gifted,
mean-
so we're fine.
Do you have any weapons?
Yes.
Like what?
I don't know. What's this assault thingy? I know it's paid. I know I customized it to look gold, so it's very nice looking.
A
It does pull
snazzy
out.
weapon skin ain't gonna save you from getting shot.
Bitch, you don't know how much I spent on this weapon skin.
No one's gonna care. Unless you can blind someone with it, then maybe.
I did once. How
Really?
the fuck do you think I? How the fuck do you think I caught the wig? Blinded the bitch, then ripped it off.
But do you have any bullets in the gun?
I
don't know,
forgot
let
to ask about bullets.
I don't know. Let me check. He pulls the trigger.
Lune is like,
The gun. If the gun,
gun-
was loaded, we're
hold
an
on.
idiot.
Hold on.
Hold
let me
on.
roll on
I was about
probability.
I'm rolling
Below
it.
50, it wasn't. Above 50, it was.
Oh.
You opening the doom, bitch?
Okay, okay.
Bitch.
Okay, hold on. I need to roll the next probability.
Please don't Please don't damage.
You shot it directly at Daloon. Luckily, they blocked it with their robotic arm. You just hear a pink as
Oh
it
my
gets
God.
dented, but they're like, ha!
So you're.
Oh. So,
Yep, it's loaded.
can we...
Um,
Marion, can you take the gun away from him?
It's
Well, I
fine,
don't
though.
want to go leaving him defenseless.
Defenseless is better than an agent who doesn't know how to shoot.
I know how to shoot.
Really?
I just did, just a moment ago.
Do you
just
know
pull
how
the
to
trigger thingy and you
aim?
point. Well, you
I'll
just
figure
point
it
it.
out.
Well, I mean, you point at what you want to shoot, and then you pull the thing.
Did you want to
so
shoot
did you
the
want-
loon?
No, okay. I'll admit that was a bit of oopsie.
Oopsie! Oopsie! Okay! They leave the room. They go to the front.
Oh, you're fine. See, they're fine. They're
oh,
fine.
When we get back to the ship, someone needs to teach a trigger discipline. Can't be me because I'd strangle you 5 minutes in.
can't be me because I don't want to die.
Daloon
One looks
comes
at
back.
Marion.
Daloon comes back and is just like, okay. They are holding what looks to be a bag of chips. and they bust it open. They are going to eat their space Doritos to avoid stress. They're just like,
Space
okay.
Doritos.
Howard like looks over at Lune and he's like, "Where did you get those?
They were in the glove box.
Is there any more?"
If I told you, you'd eat them, and they wouldn't be there for me anymore. So I'm not going to tell you.
But I'm also really stressed out.
You can
I
smoke
wonder
like
if I
other
can get a
unhealthy
space
people.
DoorDash out here.
I don't like smoke. I want space Doritos.
Howard, I can't remember. Do you like alcohol?
I mean, I drink sometimes.
Here. And then they offer him the rest of the flask.
Aw, that's actually kind of a kind gesture coming from you. And then he like takes the swig of it. Oh god, this is strong.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You're not gonna throw up, are you?
Nope.
Good. Because I don't think that would be cool.
He like silently hands the flask over.
Can
They
I
look
try
down
some?
at their now empty flask and just silently put it in their little compartment.
Can I try some?
It's gone.
Wait, what was that?
It's gone.
Oh,
There's some more at the ship if you really want to make yourself throw up.
that's okay. I prefer apple teenies anyway.
I don't think I really trust my boss drunk anyways.
I don't trust them sober.
Oh, come on. That's a bit rude.
He doesn't know trigger discipline and he joined a mercenary band.
Well, you know, we just haven't given him a chance yet.
He's got
Oh, that's
Him
okay.
gumption.
shooting the
You know
Lune,
what?
I think,
I'm
was
just-
his chance.
I'm just getting the traditional squadron ribbing because I am new. It's perfectly fine. And don't worry, I have prepared for this. Don't think that you can sneak up on me in the middle of the night with one of those sacks of oranges I keep hearing about.
Sacks of what?
Oranges.
Oranges.
You know,
I'll be honest,
Thaddeus.
I'm totally lost.
Thaddeus, you reminded me a lot of an old friend before he realized he was being a cunt and turned into a better person, but he was still charming even before he turned into a better person, so it's kind of like looking into the past when I look at you.
You're reminding me of a guy who died the first day.
I'm receiving a lot of whiplash everywhere. I'm not certain how to feel. I wonder if I'm out of bullets in this gun.
Oh,
Do
actually,
not shoot to check.
you're a rich bitch, right? Your family mingles with other rich bitches, yes?
Yes.
Your dad
I
ever
mean, I
play
wouldn't use the
nice?
colloquial term, but
Your dad ever play
I mean, I
nice
wouldn't
or
use that
play
colorful of a
footsie with
term,
the? Did you ever play footsie with the Archibald's business?
And exits to go into the front.
The RV people? What, are you going to ask if I know the My Pillow guy? Or those infomercials with the knives? No! They're
No,
all...
but
No! No! Oh.
I'm glad that they're just as pathetic to the rich folk as they are to the poor ones. Then.
Are you kidding? They're worthless!
Oh, but didn't you hear? Didn't you hear? They're getting into bigger ships now.
Oh, ships for once! Well, I hope it worked out better than their fucking casinos. The one casino he was able to get, and he fucking tanked it. That's easy mode, Rich, honey. It's hard to even. Jesus, anyone could do that.
Anyone, huh?
Literally anyone could do that. It's like it's easy, Rich. It's easy mode. Owning a casino is easy mode.
You
It's
know,
what older rich people do when they. It's when the older upper class. It's what the older upper class do when they want to retire, and have a steady income to couch on a little bit.
you know, it really does put things into perspective, the fact that you think people who are richer than I've ever been in my lifetime are ants to you. Good God. Part of me wants to be nice to you, and the other part of me wants to strangle you to death. Anyway, they look up front and just kind of go, oh, hey, looks like we're almost there.
Ooh, where?
Alexandria.
Alexandria.
All right, that's what it was called.
Sure enough, you do see a very small, little, almost the size of a moon, coming into view as you approach. There is just a. It's
Give me a second. I
empty.
have to close my window.
Oh God, the bugs are getting in. Ma, they're following me. They're following me, Ma. They're following me. Who's following you? The bugs. The bugs.
Sorry, it's raining really hard. I'm starting to get through the screen.
Oh no. It was not the bugs, it was the water. Okay. But sure enough, y'all are coming up over to a moon, and on it, you see. Well, you see a building that looks very old fashioned. Doesn't look very modern. If anything, it almost looks like it's made out of fucking brick, of all things. Like, old brick. It looks very old architecture, but it's very large. And you don't see any other ships parked nearby it.
Huh. Maybe we got here before that guy? I don't really see any other ships.
Aaron.
Either this was a wild goose chase, or we are in very deep trouble. And
We need-
remember, that guy's ship like straight up disappeared. Could have cloaking technology.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to take our chances. We need to get in there as fast as possible and get out as fast as possible. Howard, can you park the ship?
Yeah. I'll do that. And then he goes to the front and starts, pressing the buttons and being pilot.
Beep boop. I
I
press
like
buttons,
that.
I am pilot.
Beep boop.
So, you park the ship, and once it's parked, presumably Lune is like the first one to run out of the ship and is running up to the front doors of the library. And big doors, big doors, and as you follow them over, you notice they are not opening the doors, they are putting their hands against it like, shoot, okay, I'm stressed, I need to remember how to do this. They pull back their hands and they start smacking the door, but with a specific rhythm. It is thunk, 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 thunk. And then they step back and they're like, I think that was how it went. Oh God, was that not how it went? The door should open. The door should be open. And yeah, then the door opens. The door starts sliding open automatically.
Well, that's an old-fashioned passphrase.
Howard is kind of like right behind Lune, and he's like, do you think this place has a bathroom?
Of course it has a bathroom. Someone lives here.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to use it.
Oh my god. They hurry in like, okay, fucking I don't know where it is. We'll need to ask the librarian, who will presumably probably be coming by anytime soon because people aren't usually supposed to know how to get in here. And on that note, as you enter the library, you see just huge, like spanning to the ceiling size rows of bookshelves along a hallway that leads into a bigger room. The bigger room leads up to a second floor, and lining the walls of that bigger room are computer monitors and, keyboards and all that. And the second floor leads on to more rooms. It is a massive library, but again, it's all very old architecture. Pillars holding things up and nice stairs, and none of it looks like it was made by current architects. And as you are entering, you see that there is a circle on the floor of that bigger room area that the hall leads to. It lights up for a moment, and all of a sudden there is a person there. You presume that is actually a teleporter of some sort. The doors to the library shut behind you all, and you see a small figure, a very small, rotund figure, running up to you all like, goodness, hello, hi, mixed Lune, hello, and, I don't have a full body reference of this person ready, I'm dumb, let me grab their headshot, though, because I do have a headshot of him. Bread? Why bread? Why,
What?
I have
It isn't-
teleported bread.
Oh, god damn it. You see this very fluffy
Oh, I
little
love
man run
him.
up to you. He's like, hi,
Aw.
you've, brought more people than I've expected, to ever step foot in my library, but that's okay. I mean, the pursuit of knowledge is very, very admirable, and I really do enjoy seeing people so, eager to learn. Hello! Hello!
I'm just too busy staring at like the sheer amount of books to even notice him.
Marion speaks up. She's just like, I have never seen a library this big. I mean, I grew up in a small town and everything, but nothing like this. And I mean, it looks so old. How did you even get all of this here?
Oh, a little bit here, a little bit there. It just builds up over time. I've always been dedicated to preserving old knowledge and new knowledge, just knowledge in general. Books were kind of a dying art for a while, and I always felt attached to them. I used to be an archivist.
Nice. Oh, geez. That actually reminds me. We're here for something very important, and also there may or may not be someone already here.
Well, if anyone else was here, I would have noticed. I have sensors, alarms all over the place. So if they've gotten through, they've got really good tech.
Well, hopefully that just means we happen to get here first.
I
They
certainly
could
hope
have
so.
already been here.
That's foreboding. Uh, well, it's really nice to see you all here. I'm going off of the pretense that if Lune has invited you here, that I'm able to trust you to, be responsible with my very large collection of things. My do you have names you could share with me?
Oh, right. I'm Marion.
Howard is looking quite pale now, but he's like, I'm Howard.
Hi, you look a bit worried. Is it about the person, or is something else troubling you?
No, it was just it was a bumpy ride over. I might need to use your bathroom.
Oh yes, sorry, follow me. And he, starts herding you away to one of the little teleporters, because you see there are more teleporter pads across the floor. That's like the way to get around here. So he leads you to one and whooshes you away to one that presumably leads to a men's room. Uh,
Whoosh.
Daloon looks at everyone else and is just like, well, okay, so he's sufficiently warned, and now we're here, so I guess the next thing we need to do is start looking for anything that can inform us about the Gelarians. So, under alien species, or the name Gelarian, or anything like that, in books, or in, I mean, I know that there's a slightly more protected area. I might need to negotiate with Emil to let us see, but, okay, how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna split up? Oh god, is splitting up a viable option? Since someone might be here?
I can handle myself. The second floor, that's library computers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know which teleporter leads to that?
They're all stairs.
Yeah, but I want to use the teleporter.
I don't know which one leads to that. I always take the stairs.
They sigh and take the stairs.
I'm sorry, Ben!
Just quietly complaining the whole way up, just like, bloody teleporter. So much cooler.
And, Daloon looks at Thaddeus and sees he looks forward and is just like, Are you going to help?
What? Well, what? What? Wait, what?
Were you spaced
Oh.
out?
Well, I don't have a phone anymore, thanks to the little blue gremlin. I
don't have a
already beat the Tetris in that.
My god. Have you ever read a book in your life?
I've read plenty.
Name one.
As I.
Come on, man. The instruction booklet to a TV stand would probably count in this scenario.
Don't know Terminus. Thaddeus opens his mouth, and all you hear is his voice glitch. Just
Oh
No,
god.
sorry.
He's a robot.
Anyways, Percy Jackson.
of course you. I mean, okay, that's actually not bad.
What?
Oh.
Well,
Unless-
I'm not going to read the book by the turf. Jesus.
God damn it! I'm supposed to hate you. You can't say things that are funny. Fuck. Okay, you and Marion, I need you to focus on the written word. Anything in the book files, like the physical texts. Look for Gelarian, alien, tentacle. I don't know. I saw that they had something like that. The information was very
Oh
sparse.
no.
Oh.
Okay, I'm on it.
Marion,
Thaddeus,
can I trust you to force him to read?
I can at least get him to maybe read the titles.
Good
Oh, I could read
enough.
more than that titles.
Oh, all right then. Well, if you're sure that you'll be able to help out the team sufficiently, then let's get to work.
All right, good.
And then with that, the Lune rushes off. They're presumably heading to a specific area. Now, Howard, when you're done, yeah, you just go back to the teleporter with a meal and foosh back.
Whoosh.
Foosh. You foosh back literally right as Delune is walking by, so Delune's like, ah!
Oh, hello. I'm back.
Hi, how are you feeling?
Uh, a little bit better than I did before. How's the search going?
We've got Marion and Thaddeus on the texts. Penn is on anything in the database. Actually, I needed to speak to the librarian here for a moment on actually no, how would you help me? I was wondering if I could have access to things of not I was wondering if you had any artifacts of relation to old alien species in your archive room. When that is said, the librarian looks at them and it's like, well, are you, why are you looking into the precursors? The forerunners? There's plenty of stuff about them. Oh, no. Looking for anything on the Gelarians, if you've heard of those. And Emil blinks. Like, you know that white man blinking gif? Like, that is how aback he
Wait.
is. He's taken. He's like, the Gelar, well, that clearly means you recognize the name. Oh, no, okay, yes, I recognize the name, but it's, why would you, I mean, it's pretty, risky territory, I don't know if you really want to be looking into them, or, anything about them, but do you have something related to them?
Well, why not?
They're, they weren't great people, aliens. They weren't great, and some knowledge, I mean, obviously you can learn from any knowledge, but I feel like digging up knowledge about them might, rock the boat in ways that might not be safe. Uh, and I think that there's a reason most of the most of the public doesn't really know much about them. There's reasons. Huh.
Well, I mean, we're we're already fighting grave mind, so that's a thing. And if we're gonna go fight one of the biggest, strongest things in the universe, I guess this couldn't be that bad.
Hold on, wait, you're fighting what?
Yeah. You heard me right.
At this point, that you're fighting what was loud enough that even though you're like right below the stairs where Penn went up, so Penn can hear this going on now because of that exclamation. Just uh, uh, wait, a grave mind? Like the flood, the the alien, the what?
Yeah,
The librarian is
exactly
having
what you're
something.
thinking.
The librarian is having something akin to a minor panic attack.
Let it be known that I didn't cause this.
Who did? Who caused this? They were not destroyed, but sealed away.
And
Oh,
hunches down further at their computer terminal.
It's a really, really, really long story.
I'm sure
And
it
he
is.
pauses for a little bit. Do you have anything about the Gelarians, though?
Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. This is a situation where I can see why you would need information relating to them.
Okay. You know
Okay.
what? I know what's happening here. Look, if it's an issue of money, I can just pay you whatever amount you want.
The librarian goes to one of the teleporters and teleports over to the bookshelf that Marion and Thaddeus are at. He's just like, he looks at Thaddeus. He's like, "Oh, you're."
Hi. Yes.
That would explain.
Hello, Thaddeus. Pleasure.
Sure, it is. I'm sorry, but do you realize what a grave mind is?
Something spooky and likely has to be killed with a lot of bullets, I'd wager. But anyways, that's none of your concern really to worry about. After all, that is what we are to worry about, I suppose. But in any case, don't worry if this is all top secret and you don't want it leading back to you or something by some government agent or something. I'm sure Daddy Dearest is more than willing to cover up any sort of tracks to cover your little hide. So just say whatever amount is going to grease this wheel a little bit quicker and we'll go ahead and go on our way.
I'm not in this for money. Money means nothing to me.
Oh, honey, everyone needs money. Do you think that this library upkeeps itself?
Yes.
You must have at least a little bit of a fortune stowed away.
I don't have a dime to my name.
Now that's a lie if I ever heard one.
I'm being honest.
Okay, so money is not what you're after. Okay, I get you. All right, what about property? I can get you property, stock, more books, expensive books. I'm sure Daddy could get a copy of like some ancient popey transcript or something from the Vatican that you could borrow.
At some point, Marion just loudly closes the book that she was just trying to ignore the conversation going on, and is like, you can't just bribe people into getting everything that you want.
Oh, honey, everyone has a price. I just need to find his.
You've already found my price. My price is that I want to help stop people from dying. You don't need to pay me with anything superficial. I'm going to help you find whatever information on the Gelarians I have in this library. But I need you to know what it is you're getting into. A grave mind is not just...
Don't
A
tell
grave-
him we need his money.
He needs to know what is going to kill him if he isn't prepared for it. I'm sorry, but I don't think he's gonna have a choice but to
I'm sure
pay.
you're being fun. I'm sure you're being 100% dramatic over this. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'm sure it's just some big spooky tentacly thing that I'm sure has a lot of sharp teeth or whatever it is. And the solution is just to
librarian.
shoot it in the face.
The librarian grabs you by the edge of your the front of your cape and pulls you down to his face level.
Yep. Hello, guy.
The grave mine is the strongest, most powerful unified form of a creature called the Flood. The Flood are a creature that reproduces and grows stronger by making physical contact with other bioorganisms. It touches them and it becomes them. It assimilates living beings into its hive mind. It touches you and you are infected. Your skin will bloat, your body will tear apart, flesh and organs that were not there will start to grow inside of you as you connect flesh to a being that is becoming you, and you don't want it to, but it is going to make you a part of it. A grave mind is an assimilation of hundreds of those flood creatures into one giant organized entity with the voices and experiences and minds of thousands of once living beings telling it how to make itself spread even more. And it cannot be shot and killed. It is too many people to take a bullet. The only way that a grave mind can be stopped is to be contained in a place where it cannot eat other people. And there, it is too close to other living beings for us to safely find a way to quarantine it as we are now. If you come into contact with that thing even once, you will be gone in an instant and 1,000 instants, all at once. And the worst part is, if it has ever assimilated anyone who has even a passing knowledge of you, it will know how to find you or people you love and assimilate them next. Oh God. Does it know about all of you as individuals? Do you have contact with your father?
Well, I have passing contact with my father, but I've never encountered this thing, and neither has he. And, I mean, God, that little explanation, you should go into Hollywood, sweetie. Maybe get a script deal or something for that little sci-fi explanation of yours.
You've heard about it.
Of course I've heard about it. I've read all about the history of how they stopped the flood the first time. I've read every book in this library, cover to cover, at least twice. And I can't seem to get through to you, which is a shame. But I think I might have one last way that will. Thaddeus, in an instant... Well, actually, I'm gonna need you to roll something before we can see if it works.
Conducting.
Roll me a
Oh,
wits.
no.
Roll you what now?
Wits.
Roll me wits. Okay.
It would be funny if it didn't work.
So it's one. So it's 1d10 plus whatever I have in the stat line.
Yep.
Stat and ability.
Yeah. Which for him is just the one.
You were doomed from the start. You needed at least a 20 to resist what is about to happen.
Well, you literally chose his dumb stat, so.
So, all at once, in a moment, your vision disappears. And this is happening in an instant, the blink of an eye for everyone else, but for you it is going to feel like a very short moment, or just a set of events all at once happening in your mind. Your head feels fuzzy. You feel like you are nothing. Like you are... like you've never existed. And you can hear the voices of people who your company has wronged screaming at you being there, and then people who you've helped, people who love you screaming on your behalf. It's all screaming and screaming, and you don't see anything, but what you feel from the outside of your skin to the inside of your very senses is a writhing, squirming, wet mess of flesh and just this horrible slimy feeling. And you cannot move, you cannot breathe, you cannot say anything amidst all of this. And then you are just outside of yourself looking in on what you were feeling, and all you see is your face and your body being torn apart, melting into a writhing, unknowable, near unfathomable creature, and you realize you have lost yourself to something and you will never be yourself again. Then in an instant, you are back.
Oh,
Very realistic reaction.
did you just fucking give me a psychic roofie or something? Jesus!
Are you okay?
Causes you psychic damage.
I gave you the closest thing I could to a vision of what it's like. And that's only what I can approximate. God only knows what it'd actually feel like.
Wait a minute. How the hell were you able to do that?
What makes you think I'm human?
Ken just bolts up and runs down the stairs, intending to separate Thaddeus from whatever Emil is doing, because non-human is always dangerous.
I'm not here to harm you. I hope I didn't go too far. I'm just... You need to be aware of the full consequences of what you're facing, and the more you talk as if you don't care, the more convinced I am you're going to get yourself killed.
Okay, well then if you're not human, then what are you?
That's personal, but I am an alien.
That doesn't give me much confidence.
You all came here looking for something. And truth be told, now that I know what it is, I can point you in the right direction instead of having you just aimlessly look around. You're not going to find much of use in the texts, or... Well, you can find something of use, but you'd have to do hacking, and a lot of database hunting if you wanted to find anything useful from the online archives. I do have something in... I keep artifacts. I collect them. Ancient, secret artifacts that I know museums would pay arms and legs for, or rich people, like the families Thaddeus come from, would give their entire week's salary to own. I want to keep them safe, and I do have what few remaining Gelarian artifacts there are there. I think they could tell you everything you need.
All right. Well, I feel a little bit out of my element with everything that's going on, but
Oh, we
as long
won! Oh god, I'm gonna throw up!
No, not on my... No, my carpet. I guess that's my fault.
When did I eat Cheetos?
That's
Oh.
blood, Thaddeus.
Oh, that is blood.
Oh good.
Oh.
Oh good. I hate the spicy kind. Nap time.
Emil steps back. It's like,
Marion just, leans
oh,
down to pick him up.
I'm sorry. I didn't. I usually don't mess with people in any way. So I guess I kind of underestimated my own strength.
Emil underestimated just how stupid and small his brain was.
Oh dear.
You know what? It's fine. I will carry him if I have to until he's all right again.
After he fell down in the sick?
Yes. Unfortunately.
No. I have a washroom. I can clean him off. I'm sorry. Here, I'm gonna. Okay. So Emil goes over and picks up Thaddeus and is like, okay, I got him. And scurries off. Is like, you all, I'll be back. And he just leaves. After a
Well,
moment,
I think
you first, actually.
okay, I was just gonna say throughout this whole time, I think Howard has just been like quiet and kind of like contemplative because of all the talk about the grave mind and stuff and how it relates to his past. So he's kind of just like now saddened. So I think he would like, oh, you guys already zapped away. I think he would just be like, okay, let's get let's get on with this. And looks at like Marion and Penn.
Hey, are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. We just need to find whatever is on the Gelarian.
Oh, at least we're a few steps ahead now than we were a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah, but I'm still worried about the other people finding this library, you know? They knew that we were coming here.
Howard, how close were you with your parents?
Well that's a loaded question.
Because if what Emil said is true, then, well, I don't think it would be very good to have Gravemind know exactly how to track you down if you live on our ship.
Yeah, I don't I don't think it's great. But I don't know what to do. We just gotta keep finding these new things and hopefully it'll work out.
Yep. I mean, we just gotta take it one step at a time. We're all figure it out, and we'll all figure it out together. I mean, we've
I'm
gotten this far.
I'm just I'm worried about what Thaddeus saw and how he felt. Because I've seen it happen to people, but I don't know what it feels like, you know?
I don't think anyone would want to know how that feels like.
Yeah. Wait, did Emil tell us where the stuff is, or did he just leave? Did he just
He
leave
just
with?
left.
Lune has, while this has been happening, kind of been like looking through some of the books in the background, just letting y'all talk it out because it's like, personal conversation, not my business. But once you guys are done, Lune looks over and is like, he did mention that there was potential information to be found on the Gelarians in the digital database. I'd just have to do hacking. I know how to do that.
Well, then that'd be a big help. because I do not.
See, I've got the big brains. Haha, I know all the things. They are awkwardly talking as they approach the stairs to go to the computers. Like, I'll yeah, and they head over to a computer and start working on it.
Marion just there's like a really big thumbs up as they go up the stairs.
Aw.
Big thumbs up for Lune.
Should we follow Lune?
It's entirely up to your characters whether they would like to follow Lune or do their own thing. Since it was confirmed, you probably won't find much via the physical books. And Emil's gonna give you a meal ticket to information you probably need anyway. You're free to just explore the library as a whole.
Ooh.
Penn doesn't wait up for Lune or Marion. They just go wander off on their own.
Oh. Well, okay, bye. I am gonna go with Lune. It's better to go in groups, and then he starts heading off towards where Lune was heading.
Marion's going to go track down Thaddeus.
Aww.
Huh.
Aw. Alright, so first cut will be to let's go with Marion and Thaddeus first. So you follow along and you end up walking towards what you see is a washroom. Like, it's a big old bathroom that goes off after a few doors. You have to go into a hallway and then into a few doors that lead to what feels less like a library and more like a house. So you realize, oh, this guy's house, he just built or got built onto the side of it a giant library. So you end up in a bathroom where you can see the poor passed out Thaddeus kind of just sitting in a tub. He's not naked or anything, but Emil's doing the best to wash off all the gross. Like, oh, this, oh. And do you knock or do you just walk on in?
Just walks right on in.
Yeah, Emil actually doesn't notice you.
She finally speaks up and is like, "Hey,
Ah!
how's it going?" Sorry, I didn't mean to spook you or anything. It's just I'm not really used to not being at his side, so this is a bit awkward for me.
Oh,
Is he doing
you're
okay?
his help, aren't you?
Uh, that yeah, I'm his assistant technically,
Technically.
but I like to think that we're friends. I mean, not that he's called me that or anything, or even called me by my name yet, but I'm sure he appreciates me and stuff, so I just don't like to leave him alone too long.
The room is spinning.
Ah! You're awake.
Oh, you didn't hear any of that just now, did you?
The bus go beep.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, oh, I might have scrambled something. I don't think I did, but oh, that was not great of me.
He's not exactly the brightest light bulb, so it probably was a bit much for him. But
There's no
don't
such thing
blame
as
yourself
brighter or
for it.
dimmer light bulbs. There's just light bulbs that shine differently.
Not wrong there.
But I'm not stupid. Despite what Dad tells me. That's why I'm here. To prove him otherwise.
He has his own skills. He just hasn't had a chance to prove them yet.
Well,
Maybe
I
if I prove otherwise, Dan will come back.
So how long have
Hey.
you been out here, this library?
My most of my adult life. After leaving home, I kind of just knew what I wanted to do. Um, he's looking at Thaddeus, just like he puts a hand to Thaddeus's head, and Thaddeus suddenly you feel calmer, or at least a little more, not floaty, but essentially your thoughts have been slightly untangled. Although you see Emil's hand start to grow drippy as he does this.
Ah! He begins slapping the side of his face a bit. Okay. Nope. Okay.
What were you doing there?
I was just helping clear his thoughts.
Well, thanks for that. I'm sure he needs it.
Are you feeling okay, Mr. Thaddeus?
Yep. I think. Yep. I'm back. Yep. Yep. What did I say?
Something about someone coming
Nothing
back.
important.
I like how
No.
Ma-
It's from no. Oh, uh, it's yep. Silly me. Silly me. Just yep. Oh, good. You're here too. That's good. That's good. Um.
Can
What
I
were
ask you
you?
a question, Mr.
You were
Thaddeus?
yeah. Yeah. What?
What is her name? He's motioning to Thaddeus's assistant.
Mary?
You know what? That's close enough. Let, let's let's just move on.
Wait. No. Um. The no. It's
Brian just
Marion.
sighs. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I'm
Mm.
sure it just took him a while because of passing out. I'm sure that's all.
Emil just gets up
I
and looks at Thaddeus for a moment with this look of pure and completely honest pity. And then he just kind of walks out.
Well, if you're feeling all right, uh, you've got a job to do so that you can get that glory of yours.
right. Right. I do. I do.
Do you need some help for me to walk you out?
Uh. I think I'm good. I think. Yep. The legs work. Yep. I can get up out of the tub. And so he does. Yeah.
Well, alrighty. Let's
All
get
right.
going then.
Okay, so y'all head out. We cut to we cut to Howard and
Check, check,
Daloon.
check.
Hi.
Hi.
Checking your
USB
mic?
mic kind of messed up. I was just checking. Yeah.
Yeah. So we cut to Daloon and Howard. And Howard, you just kind of are watching Daloon go full hacker man. Like their fingers are like, I'm fast as fuck, boy! And they're Howard, you just kind of witness that. They are going in, deeper, deeper, deeper into the system. I'm fast as fuck, boy, until you see them pull up what looks to be a classified UNSC document. And the rate at which they managed to pull this off is fucking absurd. Now, this document, Howard, you see alongside the Lune, says I didn't write it down exactly, but something akin to record of current known locations, or no, record of current known Gelarian agents. That seems important. However, Howard, you hear something. Howard hears something almost like a thunk downstairs, and Lune seems way too invested in the hacker manning to hear it themselves. So, real quick, Jeannie, do you have to go right now? And should I NPC him, or do you want to play out this last moment with Howard?
Yeah, I have like 5 minutes, so it
Okay,
should
we'll
be
go quick.
good.
So yeah, you hear a noise from
Uh,
downstairs.
Okay. I look over at the Loon, who's like completely invested, and I kind of tap them on the shoulder, like, Psst, did you hear that?
What?
Hello?
Huh? What?
Did you hear that? There's something. I heard something downstairs.
I'm sure it's just one of the others.
Uh, I I think it was too loud to be somebody else.
If you're worried, shoot, I'm this close to getting what we need.
Uh, I, I guess I could go look.
It would be the brave thing to do.
At that, he kind of like, I guess, kind of like straightens his posture a bit, and he like nods to himself, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can do this. I'll be back. And then he starts heading towards the sound.
So you head down, and you follow the noise. You hear it again, and then you realize the thump is a book being thrown on the floor. It is leading you to in between some bookshelves. You see the book that has fallen, and presumably lean down to pick it up, put it back, only for you to hear a book fall behind you. When you turn around, you see a book on the floor, but sitting on it is a crow. A large black crow with a name
Oh.
tag.
Daloon! Daloon!
All of
Oh,
a sudden, I need you
no.
to do one last roll for me, unless you want to just lose automatically.
Oh, fuck. Okay. What do I roll?
Speed!
Okay, let me get character sheet. Speed, 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 speed. Okay. 9. No!
Uh-oh, kid!
Oh no! Oh fuck! Oh
You are
fuck!
not
Oh
fast
no,
enough
no.
to move out of the
Oh
way.
no!
You feel an arm and like a hand come up in front of your mouth with a cloth, and it is covering your face, and you are like panicking before suddenly passing the
Ah!
fuck out.
No! Oh no! Guys. Well, that's a great place to like go away.
Oh.
Now I am gone. I am dead.
Sorry, Howard.
Can't believe
Why?
Howard died canonically in the library.
No!
Howard found dead in the library.
Oh no!
Goodbye, King. So yeah, that happens in a corner of the library to an unsuspecting Howard. And now we cut to Penn.
Okay.
So where did Penn go and what was Penn up to?
Penn was just going away so that they could go through like alcohol withdrawal in peace.
Nod nod. So you're chilling.
So like wherever you want to put them, that's cool.
Yeah. You're chilling when you hear footsteps approach, and when you look to see, you see it's Emil. And Emil is walking over with what looks to be a bottle of wine. And he walks over and he's like, I don't carry much in terms of alcohol, but I got a distinct impression that was what you were dealing with.
They look surprised and then immediately very suspicious because they don't trust people to be nice to them. And so while they're like trembling a bit and like there's visibly sweat beading on their forehead, and they're like, you don't have to give that up for me. I'll be fine. It'll be like, what, a couple of hours?
No hours at all is better than a couple of hours, though. I don't like alcohol. It messes with me, and it reminds me too much of things that people I care about have gone through. So I have no issue giving it to you.
Does it have apples in it? I know some people do that with wine.
I do not think so. Admittedly, I got this as a gift from an old friend. But well, he prefers fancier gifts, and I'm not much of a fancy one.
Hmm.
The hand is still outstretched, offering it to you.
They sigh and take it. And like the tremors are so bad, the liquid is visibly shaking in the bottle as they take it back.
Emil hurriedly, leans over to, help steady the grip, okay, let's not spill.
Trust me, I know how to not spill alcohol. And then they take a sip. And they relax just a little bit because they know there's an apple in it now. And they look at him and they're like, Can the grave mind, does it have to be living people?
Elaborate. Sorry, you're referring to earlier, but what specifically?
If I have buried bodies, are they going to be able to take those back?
Unfortunately, yes. It won't get the information from the mind, though. It won't. It won't absorb the person. It'll just absorb the flesh.
And well, you know so much about the grave mind. Do how many forms can they take?
They're shapeshifters, essentially. But depending on how much is a part of one subset of the grave mind or the flood, it can really depend. If a part of the flood is small enough to imitate a human form without additional if it's small enough to be a human without having lumps of extra flesh to have to deal with, then it's small enough that it is dangerous but could possibly be dealt with.
They visibly descend into an anxiety attack as they start chugging the bottle.
Sorry. I know this is a lot of whatever it is that led to this. It's frightening. It's always frightening when an old evil comes back, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
I'm guessing you were involved.
I didn't know what was in the box. I was the one to break it.
It's fine. Those sort of things, I know better than most about the ways that unknown creatures can mess with the minds of innocent people.
Oh, they look torn between laughing and crying because they are by no means innocent, but to be regarded as such is a very rare thing.
I have a friend that reminds me of you. He's done a lot of things he regrets. It's hard to see him sometimes. Not because of the things he's done, but because he lets them eat him so much that he feels sometimes like he's not even there at all. The things he's done, they haven't made him a worse person, they've just made him feel worse. And as much as he tries to convince himself he's a bad person, he's just a good person who did horrible things. I think the fact that you are willing to risk every part of you against something that will inevitably probably kill you says a lot. And I'm I'm ashamed to admit that I'm too scared to take that kind of plunge that you are willing to. I'm not that strong.
This isn't strength. This is cowardice.
Is it a form of hastening the inevitable to you?
Why do you think I drink? I am looking for a way out. I have not found one as promising as this. It just helps that I am helping correct a wrong that I did.
I hope someday. Well, I guess maybe not, actually. I don't know whether to hope that you find a way to not feel this strongly against yourself anymore, or if I should just think it's helpful that you're so willing to accept the end when you're facing something that will probably kill you. Whatever it takes, I suppose.
I think I have too many people that are waiting for me to try and move on.
Would they want you to wait up, or would they want you to move on?
Doesn't matter because I never got to say goodbye. Everyone, I abandoned them, and I don't want to do that again.
Emil looks conflicted, like he has a truth that he wants to give to you, but that he knows will do more harm than good for you to know. So he keeps his mouth shut. And then a moment later, the lights in the library go down. You hear Emil go, that's not. Oh no. And then the only thing you all hear across the entire library is a loud, echoing caw of a bird. And you know you are not alone.
And gently sits down. Oh God. Okay. Pen gently sits down the glass, and they grabbed all their stuff before leaving, like before even they grabbed the crow. So like they take out their gun, rack a slug, and then they just sigh. Fucking bird.
Fucking bird. And that is break point. We're going on a 10-minute break. Okay, so we're back. Last we left off, the lights in the library went down, and y'all heard the caw of a crow. And we're gonna cut from Penn and Emil to Thaddeus and Marion. Y'all presumably stepped back into like the main area of the library right as the lights went out and you heard the bird. Marion, I'm sure you remember the bird quite well because the bird likes you, but you do hear the bird, and that is a bad sign.
Okay. Fine. It's a bird. It's a bird.
Uh,
I will turn it to dust with the gun. Okay. We take out the gun.
I mean, we don't have to hurt the bird per se.
We might have to though. You can't say that we can't. That you can't say that that's out of the picture.
Well, it's just a bird. Well, okay, no, it's not just a bird. Clearly, if there's the bird, the other person's here too. Whoever
Clearly
that is.
exactly. Clearly a dangerous bird.
Okay, well, no, the bird isn't dangerous. The person who came with it is. But whatever. Okay, we should probably meet up with the others. And
Yes.
okay, so is your gun loaded?
Yes.
Here it is. Do
Make a
not point
check.
it at anyone in our group at any time.
Okay.
And just be careful, okay? And stay close to me.
Right.
Alright,
Alright,
so
so that's your.
Marion's
That's...
going to try making their way to the others.
Okay,
Whether
so I'm
that
gonna
be
have
like
you.
the person
I'm gonna have you roll for me. You want to get to them fast, or do you want to get to them like? Do you want to like not risk running into someone you don't want to run into?
Probably like cautiously.
Roll me. That's wits.
Okay, wits. Okay, so that would be a +6.
You do not want Thaddeus rolling that. That is dump stat.
I forgot that my dumb little thing is one of my bot things. Okay. Well, it still did it. So that's 13.
Alright. That's. Yeah, that's enough. So you cautiously make your way over to where Penn and Emil are, because you heard Penn say something. You heard Penn say, fucking bird or whatever. And you made your way over to them. It's dark, but so dark that you can't see anything. Just you've got to squint a little. But you make it over. Party's reunited. Emil is just like, oh, thank goodness you guys are okay.
Yeah.
And whirly eyes that he is holding.
I didn't do anything. Not my fault.
Look, it's fine, okay? Just put a bit of faith in him. We should probably try to find Lune and Howard.
Okay.
If I know Howard, he either was the first one down or he left. So we're probably gonna only need to find Lune, and last I checked, they were at the computers.
Okay. So we check there. Good.
So y'all are as a unit heading in what y'all in the direction. It's very dark, but before you can reach the stairs that lead to the computer area, you hear Delune go, ah! And you see a bright light kind of go off for a moment, and you realize that bright light was the laser gun of Delune's robot arm going off. And you're like, oh god, they're not alone.
Oh.
I think it's time to go the other way.
Right. Other way.
So which direction are you guys headed?
The other way.
Well, you know what? Marion's gonna head right for Delune. Just right in the direction of it.
Marion, Queen! So you are running in that direction, and Emil's like, oh goodness me, Bob, be careful! Ah! And you reach, and even though it's dark, you can see the silhouette of Delune with their hand out, ready to fire. And then on the other side, pretty much camouflaged in the dark, you can see the vaguest almost can't see the outline of another individual. That individual does seem to notice you, because the individual has one notable feature, and that's a glowing red visor.
Okay, so like in an instant, so she's right up by the Lune, right?
Yep.
All right. So she takes out her gravity hammer, and she immediately yells like, "Hey, back off!"
The figure snaps his fingers, and you hear that bird caw again before the lights come back on. And that figure's looking at you and seems to have decided playing in the dark for now doesn't seem worthwhile. Either that or it wants to get a good look at you. And y'all saw the figure briefly before, but I want to repost the art again just for the sake of having it in front of me. So this figure tilts their head and they say, "You're not the one I was hoping for."
Well, just why are you here anyways? Why do you keep following everyone?
Personal business and hired business. You've got a lot of enemies up top. I couldn't really care less what they think of you, though. Personal reason is what I'm more invested in. He looks over the edge of, like, the floor, like, to see down into the lower floor where the others are. And then they look back at you and say, "Where's the good doctor?"
She kind of chokes up with her words and is just like, uh, "Not sure who you mean by that."
You have one doctor on your ship, don't you? I'd thought it would be easy.
And why should I even give you any information? Or better yet, give me one good reason why I shouldn't just charge forward right now and cave this whole floor in on you.
Property damage. What a nice friend you've made. A shame it would be to ruin his nice flooring. Architecture like this doesn't really come by easy these days. A bit sad, honestly. I was hoping to leverage a hostage to get the doctor, but he didn't come with you.
Hostage?
How are you going to get home without a pilot?
Oh no. She takes another step forward and she grabs her hammer and is just like, "Where is he?"
It's funny that you're playing the information game without giving me any. Where's the doctor?
I'm afraid if you want anything out of me, you're gonna have to make it come out of me.
Good. The lights go down again.
Where is Thaddeus during all this that's happening?
You guys were at the bottom of the stairs leading up to where this was happening. So if you wanted to do anything in the meantime of that conversation, now would be the time to tell me.
Thaddeus is gonna attempt to shoot the dude.
Right as the lights go down? Let's go for that, sure. That will
Can I roll to
be-
just put a hand on his weapon and lower it?
No, I want him to roll dexterity.
Dex? Okay, cool. Okay, he actually doesn't have that bad of a roll in Dex. So let's see. That's it? Yeah. Let's see if that works.
Ow! Look at him go! King! Yeah, you actually do get that shot off. Congrats, King. So, let me check to see. Do you have written down the damage die for your gun?
2d4.
Alrighty.
So do I just roll 2d4? Or you? Nah, you do it.
It did
Okay.
Unfortunately, despite getting a clean hit, it did shit damage, but it did get his attention. And as soon as the lights go down, Thaddeus, I need you to now roll for me. Speed.
It's pure speed. Okay. Same thing. So it'll be easy.
Oh, you just barely dodged the fucking. Just this dude barely down the stairs right at you. You barely managed to just jump aside as he lands by you in the dark. And, yeah, now he's readying another attack. I'm gonna say Thaddeus doesn't get to react this time. I will say, Pen, since you are right there, you have a chance to react. What do you do?
While he's teetering, like trying to right himself standing up, I want to do what he did and lunge. But this time it's solid ground and not sloped ground.
Yeehaw. So you want to lunge at the Birdman?
Yes. I want to pummel him.
Alright, that'll be power.
Ooh! Ooh!
Picked it out. I just did everything.
Sorry, I got dinner. Continue.
Shit! That's
Unfortunate.
fucking. That's 3! What the hell?
So you lunge, but unfortunately, he is faster, and he sidesteps you with ease. And now, because he has sidestepped you, I'm gonna do a roll to see if he can actually manage to land a hit on you while you are vulnerable.
Can Thaddeus do anything to help?
After this roll, you can.
Okay.
Yes!
You good?
My armor class is 14.
Okay, so the swipe just with that they make with their claws barely misses you. And now Thaddeus has a chance, and then it'll go to Marion.
He's gonna try to shoot him again.
Roll for me that dex. However, the lights are down now. I'm gonna have to ask you to -1.
Oh god.
So 14.
Yeah, okay, so 14. I'm gonna say that he's staggered from having missed his attack on Pen, and that does let you get it.
Woohoo!
Again, though, piddly damage, unfortunately. Does stagger,
Gucci
though, a minute.
bullets. Strike again.
Now it is time for Marion. You're at the top of the stairs still. What would you like to do?
All right. So at the top of the stairs, there's the computers and everything, right?
Yeah.
So would you say that some of those are near the stairs?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a silly idea of me, but what if she was to take one of those like something big like a computer monitor or a computer tower and just chucks it and uses her hammer to just throw it down in his direction?
Hit it like a big old baseball.
You want to beat him, destroying Emil's valuable equipment in the meantime. But sure.
You gotta do what you have to try when you don't really have a ranged weapon.
Roll power.
And Thaddeus will pay for it.
You could
Roll-
just walk down the stairs.
Roll power, and if this succeeds, you will get a roll of cool die.
All right, so power. So that would be a 14.
Unfucking fortunate.
Wait, can I use one of my luck points to reroll?
Yes, you can.
$15.
Did you? I thought that was my roll.
Oh,
You
I
input
just
the
rolled a
command
second
wrong.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a second time and it's a 15 for my second time.
No,
wait,
it
no,
didn't. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't add the space. I see. I'm not used to using the bot, and the fact that it's one of my tougher bots just messes me up. Okay, a 16.
Oh, 16. Okay, so you grab that, chuck it, thwack. You hit it down, and you seem to have caught the Birdman in the headlights because it does beam him. And I'm gonna give that the damage of. Yeah, that'd be around not normal a little less than normal gravity hammer damage. So that'll be 2d4.
All right.
And it's big damage. You thunked the guy, and the sheer force of the big fucking computer box slamming into him sends him skittering back. Like, fucking knocked him over. You hear Emil go, "Oh, my computer!"
I'll pay for it! I'll pay for it! You're fine!
Sorry.
Emil does, however, seem to have disappeared. You heard that cry from somewhere, but you don't know where. He is definitely not around you guys right now. Meanwhile, we are gonna cut back to the action of the now staggering, the burb man, as it were. My Discord bros. Love that. So he staggered back and he seems to be like looking over you all, like, what are my options here? And he just says, alright, you've got a lot of fight in you. I do appreciate that much. But I wouldn't hit me again. You're playing a risky game here.
Well, you're not really giving us that much of a choice.
Hey, I wouldn't have attacked if she had just given me the information I wanted.
Well, probably not really a good idea to give any information to the scary crow-caped man.
What makes you think
Like,
you
you
can't
don't.
trust? You know, you keep going. Finish that sentence.
I mean, the fact that you're asking that question seems a little odd. I mean, you do realize middle of the night or like middle of the dark, spooky cape, threateningly asking for the doctor. It's not really. You're not. It's not a good impression, is what I'm saying.
Fair point. Fair point. But I'd say still, it's pretty reckless of you, considering you know what I have. I'm gonna put us on pause real quick, because Pen's
Okay.
mic broken. So yeah, the Birdman basically says, it's a really risky business for you to be doing this, especially since you know what I have. You know, I could just keep him, this pilot of yours.
Can I would it be possible while the conversation is happening, Marion actually tries to um like try to actually look for his bird?
Roll wits.
Okay. So, by the way, just so that I understand from what he explained, his goal is basically, I want to find the doctor. Tell me where the doctor is, right?
Yep.
And this is all just like personal to him, so he wasn't paid to kill the doctor. He just
11.
wants to kill the doctor.
He wants the doctor.
Oh, he
Ooh,
did not
that's an
say he
11.
wanted to kill the doctor.
No, he said he wants the doctor. But, oh, that's an 11. Okay, so you cannot find Kuro anywhere, right? No, they mean Io. They mean Dr. Io. So yeah, you cannot see Kuro anywhere. And in fact, the man points at you and says, do you think you're being clever? You're lucky my darling has taken such a liking to you. Points to Pen after that and says, you not so much. Well, it seems we're at a bit of a standstill. And as I take it, you still
Wait,
haven't gotten the information you need either. What was it? Something about those aliens. Honestly, I really don't care about what my employer wants. He just doesn't want you finding it out.
So wait, why exactly do you want this doctor?
If I told you, it would spoil the fun of you finding out on your own. Let's just say there's a few things about Dr. Io you don't really understand too well.
What's your name?
Me?
Yes.
They call
Any kind of fucking alias. Otherwise, I'm gonna call you Feathers.
me the Evangelist, although that's not the name I gave myself. Truthfully, I didn't really give myself much of a name when I started this, but I think Evangelist suits me.
That's a stupid name. Okay, Feathers, you're not getting the doctor. No matter what kind of hell you put us through. I mean, hell, even if you kill us, give us the grave mind. You're not getting him. Because, unfortunately, he is our teammate, and only we get to pick on him. So, go ahead, kill us, destroy information. I'm sure this fella has something else somewhere. But you're not getting to him.
What a touching amount of loyalty. Do you think he'd do the same for you?
I know he wouldn't, but, well, sometimes you work with shitheads like that.
At least you know that much about who you're working with. Alright. I won't get the doctor this time. But I will destroy this library.
They point the shotgun at him and shoot.
Alright, roll dexterity.
The gun. Roll 10.
What's the damage die for it?
I have no fucking idea. Where's 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 the okay. I have the PDF, hold on.
See, the wisest thing to do is put the die underneath the weapon
Oh,
on your
is this
sheet.
point blank? Would this be considered point blank?
I don't think so, no.
Damn it. Hmm. Okay, how much of a distance? Because it just vaguely says distance.
Okay, then I would say, yeah, I'd say that's a 2d4. That's a typical amount. And the blowback is pretty strong. You actually managed to knock the guy off his feet, like he goes flying back from that shot.
Yeah, cunt.
Caught him slipping. You now
I'm
have
so glad that worked.
a moment to figure out what you as a unit want to do next before he gets back to his feet. So, options. You know that Emil isn't there, so Emil is probably doing something to help you guys. You can only hope, but that's putting faith in him. Lune has made it back down to you guys, like, okay, so, what is the plan?
So we kill him.
Hmm. I mean, obviously Penn would want to kill him, but Marion, like, at the most, would definitely just want to try restraining him in some way, especially because they don't really know where Howard is. Hmm.
If you want the Lune's input, you can ask. And Thaddeus just seems to be like, I'm gonna do what Marion's gonna do. Because Thaddeus is like, this is responsibility. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Well, I'm trying to think of a way. Because I don't know, because his strongest attribute is influence, and I don't know how he'd be able to use his influence on
I mean,
Bird Guy.
that's talking someone out of something or into something. So, I mean, you could theoretically help Marion here by talking him into you could talk him out of being an asshole for a minute if you wanted to go that route.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
So yeah, Penn's like, we should kill him. Marion's like, no, we don't know where Howard is. We need to, talk him down. Roll influence for me. Yeah, you made that.
Yep.
So you approach him and what do you say to the evangelist, as he's called himself?
So, from what you're describing to me, at least from the very little I've heard, the good doctor wronged you in some way. A terrible crime indeed, though I don't know which. Or at least I assume it's very terrible if you're willing to kidnap someone and literally burn an entire century's worth of knowledge down to the ground in order to do it. Am I correct in this assumption?
You're somewhere in the ballpark of it.
So wouldn't you rather he actually face a real justice? Wouldn't you rather he be exposed for the terrible doctor that he is? Clearly, he's probably done a lot of covering up. I bet you would, as a person who probably would be seeking revenge, I bet you would get quite the enjoyment out of having the good doctor exposed. Having his reputation be torn from the very bases, from the very base down to rubble, right? Tear the man down into nothing. And then make it to where he practically begs to have the knife in his back himself.
You've misunderstood the situation greatly. I don't want to hurt the doctor. I want to shake his hand.
Cryptic. But it still doesn't. You're not exactly convincing me of a different motive here. That still sounds vaguely of revenge.
There is no revenge here. I simply want to meet him for reasons very personal to me. And that's about all you need to know.
If you're not wanting to hurt him, if you're not wanting to kill him, then we can arrange a meeting with him, with you. If talking with him is simply what you want to do, if giving a handshake is simply quote unquote what you're wanting to do, then we can arrange a meeting. You and him. Man to man. All you need to do is just return our pilot, let us go about our business, and we can take you to him ourselves. It'll be on our it'll be on our turf, our rules, and you would have to guarantee that the good doctor won't be murdered by the end of it, but we can do it.
That sounds fair. I'm assuming I'll have to submit myself to whatever handcuffs and chains you'd have to put on me, but I'd do it. I'll even let you keep this precious information you want. Like I said, I don't give much of a damn about my employer. Getting hired by him was really just an excuse to get closer to Io.
All right, then we have a deal. So as long as you can promise that no harm comes to either him or anyone in my crew, or anyone here, then we can arrange for you a meeting.
Certainly. He gets to his feet, slowly, hands up. Snaps his fingers. The lights all come back on. And you see from up above that pet crow Kuro fly down and land right on his head. Specifically, perches on that weird halo that is on his helmet.
Okay. So, would you like to tell us where our good pilot is?
He's in the room you were going to go to anyway, though he is passed out. You'll just have to ask the librarian to take you there.
And Thaddeus just sort of looks around, up and around, and just sort of like, I take it you got that. I don't know if the librarian's like listening to all this. I don't know if he has like surveillance or something. Do you? Am I just talking into thin air?
The teleporter goes off near you, and you see Emil walk over. Like, yeah, I was
put a bell on you.
I was going to go man some defense systems, but they were all down. It seems our other guest here had some pretty good ideas on what to do before attacking you guys. But yeah, I can take you to the artifacts room.
Okay,
Okay.
actually, wait a minute. I'm not sure I entirely trust this guy, at least, going down in there. So, I'm going to keep guard over this bird guy. I'm not gonna call you by your name. It's silly. I'm sorry. But
I just assumed his name would be like the Raven or something.
It's
But
like I said,
thought
it's
that
not a
was
name
too
I gave
cliche.
myself.
At
well,
least a
the name-
raven would be better than the evangelist.
Anyways, that's semantics. Yeah. Marion, just go ahead and guard him.
you got it.
With that, Emil starts leading Thaddeus and Penn to the other room. Lune has been kind of quiet, but decides to stay behind with Marion. Just in case, a little extra. I've got a robot arm. I'll be useful.
Yeah, if he tries anything weird and funny again, sorry, but we would be kind of obligated to shoot you in the head. Just sorry.
I know better than to act out when my pet bird is at risk.
Good. We understand. Good. God, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. I was completely talking out of my bum.
I'm not unreasonable, and you're better at that than you think.
Told you
Usually
guys
it just
Thaddeus has his strong suits.
begins with money. That's what I. Anyways, let's go.
Alright, so
Thaddeus, you do need to give yourself a bit more credit.
Emil leads
You-
Penn and Thaddeus to that room. I will let you two talk while that happens. Unless you didn't have more to say. I just felt like I was interrupting. Okay, so y'all make it to the artifact room. Don't laugh at me! I'm trying to be a good
No, I was laughing at Dermis because I really thought he was gonna say something.
Nah.
DM. So, Vince leads you to the room. He puts his hand on a hand scanner. It's one of the only modern tech things in this entire place. But the door opens, y'all are let in, which begs the question, how the fuck did bird guy get in here? But you do see this place is basically wall to wall covered in basically containment display units for various odd bits and pieces of old alien tech, be it parts from ships, stone tablets, weird boxes and doohickeys, all of those on display. And in the middle of the room, completely passed out, is Howard.
I told him that drink was strong.
Uh, should we move him or
I don't think he's bothering anybody, unless you think you're gonna trip over him.
I mean it sort of seems wrong. Does this sort of I mean is it? Do we
Do we have to move him?
We'll move him when we leave the
would
room.
he be great? Okay. Okay. That's just alright, I'll just step around him then.
The floor's a fine place to be.
I wasn't doubting that. It's just you know what, let's just go find artifacts.
Emil leads you to a display case that shows what looks to be a book, old and frayed. It looks like some kind of history book in a language that you cannot understand. But Emil takes it out and he starts to read it to you perfectly. I don't have what's written down perfectly, however, in there, so I'm going to stumble with basically giving you a paraphrase of what Emil reads to you because fuck you, I'm not a good DM. So, this book, written in a language you do not understand, says something along the lines of date and time, ancient date and time. The Forerunners have come to us in need of our aid. Their pride is the only thing that we thought they would be unable to swallow, but it seems we were proven incorrect. They need the aid of our psychic abilities in order to create something that can contain and disperse this horrible creation they have set upon the universe. And while normally we would find ourselves above helping a lesser species, if we let this go unchecked, it could very well be our own undoing. So, for the time being, a shaky alliance has been formed between us and the Forerunners, in the hopes of finally containing and perhaps even destroying this being we have grown to call the Flood. Our technology is something far beyond what the Forerunners seem to be able to understand, which is very, very amusing to us, considering the rest of the galaxy seems to see them as some sort of savior, some sort of unknowable, incredibly intelligent, just unable to be understood being. But they've never been able to understand how our psionic powers work, and that will always put us above them. Using these powers, we have helped with their technology to construct something we like to call a hidden dimension. With it, we have created a space that does not exist within our own existence, creating new space out of nothing by breaking all known laws. Should we put living members of the Flood into such a space, they would have nothing else left to eat, and thus have to cannibalize itself to survive until it cannibalized itself into nothing. It would be, in our eyes, the best, most efficient, and possibly only way to truly kill the Flood. Starvation. We know quite well that starvation is the deadliest killer of all. In a later entry, as Emil keeps reading, our technology has been a success, though it has taken a lot of our resources and a lot of our manpower to make it work. The Forerunners owe us, which is funny because they seem to think that they don't have to give us anything for what we have given them. They will come to regret this. I know they will. In a final entry that Emil reads to you, people are probably going to spin tales of how the Forerunners have been lost to time, how they have disappeared, but we are going to do our very best to make it known how they disappeared. At the hands of the Gelarians, nobody crosses us. With that, Emil shuts the book and hands it to Thaddeus.
Oh, so they killed them.
And they also were the only alien species with very particular knowledge needed to create the only known weapon to ever kill or at least contain the Flood. So, any notes on it are going to be in this book, and I can't come with you, but I know a way that you can contact another Gelarian. The only issue is I don't have the means to do it.
Well, it's not like this writing would be that hard to. Well, I mean, I could just open it and just see if I could. I mean, maybe it's romantic in origin or something, and from that I can just. Why are the letters moving?
Thaddeus, don't try to read it. It'll melt your brain.
God didn't. It's glowing and it's moving and.
Close the
Okay.
book. Close the book.
I'm closing it. I'm closing it.
Good.
Yep, closing it. That was a bad idea. That was thoroughly a bad idea.
Yeah, you fucking think?
Okay, yeah, we. Okay, wait. But are they extinct? Or okay, no, the Gelarians aren't extinct. They exist still.
If
Okay.
Emil had a way to contact them, why would they be extinct?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, there are very few left. But, well, I'm pretty sure that the Lune probably found the names of those you can contact while you were all during your search. I did tell them that they could hack that information out of one of the computers, so.
Okay, good. Then we'll just contact one of them. Okay, good.
With that, Emil starts to lead you guys out. He specifically leans down to pick up Howard as he goes, because he's going to carry Howard for y'all. But he leads y'all back to the group. You see, fortunately, Birdman has not acted up while you were in there. He's kind of just petting his crow. And, Emil looks at Lune and says, I'm going to assume you hacked into one of my computers to get information. Yes, I did tell you you could do that. Oh, right, yes, I did find a database of the only known current Gelarians in the galaxy, this galaxy. There were 4 names, though one of them was redacted, glitched out. It didn't look like it was manually removed from the system, but that something scrubbed it out. Still, I have 3 other names, and unfortunately, of those names, only one of them seems to be one we can actually reliably potentially contact.
Okay, then we'll just try that one then.
Yes, yes. So, of the names.
So who are they?
Yes, so the first one is named Farida. Unfortunately, they seem to be locked very far, very deep in a high security UNSC prison. So even if we contacted them, they probably would not be able to come to us unless there was a lot of crazy shit going down. One of them is named Hansha and is apparently moonlighting pretending to be a human and a movie star. I haven't seen any of his movies, but I suppose I can look the name up. Still, he's on the UNSC payroll specifically, from what I saw, so also probably not a safe bet, because that's another ticket to getting us noticed by the UNSC again, and since they want us arrested and dead, that's probably not great. So the one I settled on was Aloth. There is no information on where the hell Aloth is, though. None.
Oh. Wait. There's Dia popped in. These beings were like a big country, right? Like big thing, right? And they're still around. Why don't we what about their leader? They must have had a leader at one point.
Emil chimes in just, I didn't give you the full history of the Gelarians. They haven't had a leader for a long time.
Please don't tell that one's dead, isn't he? He's dead. Okay.
Yes.
They're dead. Okay. Right.
Even if we could contact them, are we sure they could do it again?
It's the best bet we have. Do you think this Aloth person could help us, though, Emil? You know more about the Gelarians than anyone else, it seems. Emil thinks for a moment and just says, yes, if anyone can. Out of the remaining Gelarians, I think it would be Aloth.
So do we have any lead on where he is?
Well, we need to send out a galaxy-wide communication specifically set to a Gelarian psionic frequency. At least that's what I've gathered, right? Yes, that's right. I think. Yes, no, yes. So that's pretty much the best idea you could possibly go for. They send messages to each other through such a psionic frequency. So you'd need to, first of all, figure out this frequency. I think I have notes I could probably put in the book or on paper for you to start from. But once you have that frequency, you'd need a communication device powerful enough to send a communication to the entire galaxy. And those are pretty sparse, unfortunately. Let me think. Are there any that I can think of that... Oh! What about Chorus?
What's the chorus?
Chorus.
Chorus was a planet... What's wrong with Chorus?
Yeah, okay, you trust us, so I'm gonna trust you with this. One of our teammates is a fugitive on Chorus, and the other one is so much of a fugitive that he'd probably be shot on sight.
Oh, great! Let me guess, they were involved with the civil war that went on there, huh?
Yes.
Wonderful. I was going to say that Chorus is a planet that is home to many, many ancient Forerunner towers, one of which was a tower used for communication across the galaxy. Admittedly, it was made for technological communication, so you'd have to literally mess with the tower itself to send a message through it psionically, but it would still probably be doable, especially with the technological expertise of the Lune. But also, you'd need one of the ancient keys, too. Oh, you don't have a great key.
Ugh.
What's the only lead we've
Wasn't-
got?
Wasn't there a tower on Chorus that, well, fucking hell. There was a tower on Chorus that had information on the other keys, if I remember correctly. But there's also someone else with a key, but I don't think any of us would be on the best terms with him.
Oh, great. All I can really supply you is the information. What you do with it is up to you from there. But I honestly can't think of any other thing in this galaxy that you could tap into to send out a psionic frequency that could connect to a Gelarian, apart from that tower. Anything else would be owned and heavily protected by the UNSC and would put you at even greater risk than going to Chorus, I'd think.
Well, it's 2 people shot versus the whole team, so I guess so.
You can always just splat on a new coat of armor, maybe a fun little disguise like a mustache, and I mean, it works in the movies.
Oh, mustache. Okay, that's very sweet. I don't think a mustache is gonna be enough.
Well, I always trick the other teams by just changing my armor color all the time.
Chorus is not Sim Troopers.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've gotten all we can get. Thank you for the help, Emil. No problem. Just do your best. I'm sure you guys can figure out a way. And, thanks for not destroying my library. I really do appreciate that. Of course. I really am sorry, Emil. I didn't mean to bring trouble in here. And as Lune says trouble, their gaze goes over to the evangelist, who simply shrugs and says, I was paid.
Like I said, just send an invoice. I will pay for the computer that was destroyed. So
Hey, excuse me, Emil, I wanted to say sorry for that computer, but also, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Are you one of them?
His eyes widen slightly in alarm before he just kind of. You know, there is a reason I don't like talking about them. If I could give you the information you're looking for from my brethren, I would have done it, so I'm just pointing you in the right direction.
Alright, well, thanks for your help, anyways. I can understand not wanting to look into things that would be best not to know of. So,
well, finding him shouldn't be too hard. What other choice? What other choice do we have? It's not like we could make one.
well, we'll figure it out one step at a time.
Since you know what I am, I suppose I can offer you one other bit of advice. I do know Aloth. I just don't know how to contact him right now. But if you want to get on his good side, acknowledge how handsome he is. He's got a bit of an ego.
I'll keep that in mind.
Guy sounds like he practically has a cult in his name.
He did once. Once. I don't want to think about what happened to that cult. Anyway,
Oh.
It was nice to see you all. I hope you'll. And then Lune just chimes in like, this whole fucking time, Emil. And Emil just flinches like, I'm sorry, Dr. Lune. I really am. It's a very personal secret. I just did a very bad job hiding it when the subject of Gelarians came up at all. I kind of rely on them being a very unknown factor for people to not find out that I am one. It's like, oh, but this whole time! Ah! And they just storm off. Ah, sorry. Here, oh, one other thing. Emil rushes off to a teleporter and disappears, and then a second later he comes back. And he's got a little handful of books, and he runs up to Thaddeus, and he holds them out like, here.
Oh.
It is the first set of Percy Jackson books.
Aww.
You mentioned reading them once. I wondered if you would want to read them again. I'm sure you have lots of free time.
Yeah, I'm sure my younger sibling, who I definitely have, will love these. I'll just go ahead and take them and send it to them.
I hope they enjoy it.
They will.
Emil gives a little wave as you guys go off, and yep, you're bringing the
Uh,
Birdman with you. The Birdman is following.
Can Pen hang back?
Go back.
Yeah, Pen hangs back, watches them all leave, and then they turn to Emil and they're like, are you alright with hogs?
I love them.
They lean down and offer a hug.
Oh, he gives that big hug back. It's a big bear hug. He's a big warm hugger.
They truly relax for the first time in 2 decades and just sigh sadly. And then they pull back. Thank you for earlier.
Of course. You're welcome back any time. Well, so long as you make sure you aren't tailed next time. That was a bit of trouble.
Sorry about that. Do you have a palm signature?
Yes, I do. Here, he pulls out a little notebook and he starts writing some stuff in it before handing the paper to you.
They take it and put it in one of their little belt compartments.
Stay safe, and I trust you. I trust that all of you will manage this, somehow. I've seen crazier happen. I mean, one of these days I've got to tell you the story of these kids who took down an entire agency. But that's a
Really?
tale for a different day. I'll put you in the loop sometime. For now, just head on out.
Yeah. If I live, I look forward to hearing it.
Maybe that'll be your motivation to stay alive.
See you later, Romeo.
Goodbye. And he gives a
And
little
then they
wave as you
leave.
head to the ship. Yep. Now, y'all are flying back to the Queen Bee, and of course, you have, again, the Birdman in the back, and he's like, if I do it slowly, can I take my helmet off?
Marion's like watching him closely, but actually she's just watching the bird and is like, all right, but I'm watching you if you do anything funny. But the entire time she's not even looking at him.
He lifts his hands slowly, places them on the sides of the helmet, unlatches it, slips it off, and you see a very pale man with tired eyes, and his hair is covering one half of his face. It is droopy, and yeehaw, that's what he looks like, but he's just like, it's getting stuffy in there. I think I might make, your pilot and pass the fuck out.
Oh yeah, we don't have a pilot.
The Lune chimes in, it's fine, I can, I have the coordinates for the Queen Bee, I can just autopilot and hope nothing goes wrong. Nothing needs my manual input. If something does, then we'll be fucked. But whatever. We can't exactly stay here. So they head up front to start handling that.
Well, the floor is comfortable. And they shove him over.
He falls on the floor and he's like, He doesn't even react. He just shuts his eyes and goes, And yes, the man that was trying to kill you earlier is now asleep on the floor of your ship as you're heading home with a new goal. You now know what you need to do, or at least a set of things you need to do. But the most important one of all, you need to get to Chorus. And that will be the end of the session.